Hello you guys, welcome back to a new video on Lily Reads. So I have an idea for a video that is birthed purely out of me being Cheapy the cheapskate. I have decided to cut back on the number of books I buy, which has kind of been a flop, but more importantly, the amount of money I spend on the books that I buy. Rarely do I go to the bookstores these days and just pick out the way I deeply desire to. I like to be more intentional in my book buying. I like to think to myself, will this book go on sale relatively soon? Am I interested enough in the book that I'm going to read it in the time in which it will still be full price? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you buy a book and you don't read it till 2 years later, and it 100% would have probably come out in paperback by then and been cheaper. Or you could have found the hardback on like bargain, because that is the, like, I hate to be nasty, but most of these books do end up in the bargain section. They end up on bargain, they end up in thrift stores, they end up on half price like bookstores online. You just can probably get most book cheaper if you wait till after it's been released for a while. But every now and then I just have to buy the book. I just have to buy the book. I read the synopsis in the bookstore and I pay for the book. So I decided, as you can tell by the title, I am going to read books I paid too much money for. I regret buying these books. I do not believe I should have bought these books at full price. I 100% could have waited to just get them in paperback or waited for them to be bargain books, but I felt like I had to have them. Do I regret buying them? I never regret buying books. I just, it's lessons learned. Somebody got their money. Some writer is gonna, got their little cheddar. So I don't necessarily think I regret buying them. I just know they weren't smart purchases. So I want to read these books, which I bought all this year, and I want to see, do I really need to come up with better book habits? Do I have a taste for good stuff? Like, hey, Kenya, you have a taste for what is good, and you know what? These work for you. Maybe that's what I learned from this. Like, Kenya, maybe you should be paying full price because you had a good time with these books. I've heard good and bad things about all of these books, so like, we're just going to get into it. I'm going to tell you how much I paid for each of these books, and yeah. So the first book we have is So Happy For You by Celia Lasky. I paid $26 for this book. I know it. I paid $26 for this book. A lot of people read this book during Summerween. I went to go get my hands on it a few weeks, before Summerween, and I saw the price of it. It was like I couldn't rationalize spending $26 on it. But then I pulled the trigger and I spent $26 on this. Now keep in mind, I got this book online and spent $26 on it. But what surprised the hell out of me, I've already started reading it by the way, is the simple fact that this book is not even 300 pages. Y'all see how small this is? I paid $26 for a book that is this small, and I don't even know. It doesn't even have a pretty, yellow is my favorite color, as you can see. This is my favorite color of yellow too. It doesn't show up on camera, but it's not even a pretty cover. It's not even a pretty color. I don't know why I just didn't opt to go get this on Kindle. I don't know, but I purchased it. I paid $26 for it. It's the first book we're going to read in this video, and yeah, I paid too much money for it. There's no other way to say it. The next book that I paid too much money for is Hide. I paid $27 for this book. Don't know why. I gave into the hype. So many people were reading this book. So many people gave it bad reviews, and I was just like, I have to have this book. Everyone I see on the web owns this book, and so I was just like, I have to have it. And so when I was in the bookstore one day, I just picked it up, even though I haven't heard anything good about it, and I 100% could just wait for this to go half price. It's not like I'm itching to read this book. A lot of people had it as a book club pick. I didn't read it for their book clubs. I don't know. And so I bought the book, and I was just like, what? Why did I? It's not even necessarily a great cover to me. It's not the color yellow that I like. It's by Kirsten White. Like, I don't know. I just paid $28 for this. And I don't know why, which I believe this at $28 is the most expensive book that I purchased this year. Yes, this is the most expensive book I purchased all year at $28. The next book I spent too much money on is How to Be Eaten. I bought these two books at the same damn time because I remember spending $60 at the bookstore. I paid another $28. So this would be my two most expensive books that I think, literally these might be the two most expensive books that I own. Like, I do not pay a lot of money for books. I am a bargain shopper. These might be the two most expensive books that I own. Like, I don't know what happened here. But How to Be Eaten is the third book that we are going to read for this. This was just another, I love the name. I love the name. I've seen it a couple places. I've seen it on Goodreads. Some of the people I follow on Goodreads have read it. And so I knew I wanted to eventually get to it, but then I saw it and I was already at the bookstore, so I picked it up. But for $28, could I not have waited till like maybe it was a little bit cheaper? Maybe it will come out in hardback, because that's the big thing of it. Like, eventually these books are gonna come out in hardback. Like, I mean, in paperback. That's what I could have waited for. Like, more so not like the bargain part. I could have at least waited for it to be out in paperback. Spent too much money on it. Sorry, $28. This video is kind of nasty when you think like, Ken, you're trying to spend less money on people's books, but I'm sorry, I'm not made of money. I'm not made of money. Like, I spent too much money on these books, but I already did it, so you don't have to drag me. The money's already been spent, okay? And I don't return books. The Lifeguards. You want to know by Amanda. Oh, How to Be Eaten is by Mariah Edelman. The Lifeguards. I actually have a huge reason. 100% I paid full price for this book, which means I paid $28. I paid $28 for all of these books. So happy for you, I paid $26. That is nuts. That means the total sum of this book haul is well over $100. Well over this book. This video has cost me well over $100. Oh my goodness. The Lifeguards. The reason why this book pisses me off, number one, when I bought this book, I didn't even want to go to the bookstore. I was forced to go to the bookstore. Someone I was with wanted to go to the bookstore, so I went in. Then I didn't want to leave with nothing because, like, I just love buying books. And so I picked this one up because I liked the summary enough. But when I picked it up, it was one of those things where I said, Kenya, wait to get it. But then I didn't see anything else I wanted, so I picked this up, didn't even look at the price. Then I saw they wanted $28 for it. But what makes this more annoying, like 2 weeks later, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, my city, and I saw this book for 20% off at a bookstore. And that's my thing. Like, you can be nasty and be like, Ken, you should want to pay full price. These books go on sale. These books go on sale. Barnes & Noble just had to, like, get half off of hardback books. Like, these books go on sale. Like, sorry. And so I could have waited on all of these books and got these at least in the Barnes & Noble sale. Like, that would have saved me $50. $50. If I would have, like, no, it would have saved me like $25. Like, what? That is what we're going to read in this vlog. You want to know something that bothers me in books? This is not like what bothers me in books, but I want to point something out. So this book, first of all, one thing about when the dust jacket don't fit, I hate a dust jacket that is too big for the book. That is this. Number one, I paid $26 for. Secondly, $26, and this literally, it's just this. It's just this. But yellow's my favorite color, so I'll allow it. Next. So you open up the book. They're so happy for you. Some blank pages tell you other books that Celia wrote. Some more stuff. Too many title pages, but we move on. Then we have a whole page for part 1. And instead of starting the book on page 1, or at the very least like page 5, this book starts on page 13. That bothers me. I hate when people include all the little mess, when the mess is too long in the page number. So now this book, you can't see, the book starts on page 13. So like, it's just ridiculous. I am so sorry. As someone who reads physically, that bothers me when books like start on random pages because they include all the mess in the beginning as page numbers. Like, be serious. I'm sorry. That's something that bothered me when I started So Happy For You. Anyways, now we can get into the vlog. Anyways, So happy for you. I did not know this book was like dystopian a little bit. This book is kind of setting place in this alternate reality of America. So basically this book, so happy for you, is about this time in America where the marriage rate was going down, the divorce rate was going up. People weren't having babies. People were moving to major cities, partying, having fun. The STD rate was up. And so America started this thing where they like force people kind of to get married. Not force them, but like they kind of told you like you were rotten once you turned 27. And as men, you need to be married by like 30 or you're like spoiled or whatever. So basically this is an alternative society where everyone is like forced to breed with one another. Everyone is forced to try to like find a partner by a certain age. And if you don't find a partner by a certain age, you're looked upon as like disgusting, nasty. There's this app that people go into that basically tell them like, are they a match? Like what about them makes them a catch? If you're a woman, if you're a guy, what about you makes a catch? And so basically you're constantly given information that tells you if you'll be a good partner to people, if you're marriageable, if people should marry you, are you wife material, are you husband material? And that has caused a lot of people to want to get married. But our protagonist, she is totally against that. Number one, she's a lesbian, so she's already going against society because she doesn't want to be in a heterosexual relationship. But she also has no desire to get married. She's not falling for the schemes and tricks. She lives in New York City, Brooklyn to be exact. She is totally against all of that. She doesn't care about marriage. She thinks all of this is stupid about being forced by basically the government to be in a relationship so you can have kids and all this. But she gets invited to dinner from her friend, and basically she finds out that her friend kind of like fell for the okie doke. Her friend has been very like, I need to find a man, I need to find a man, I need to find a man. And so she has found the man and she is getting married. But our protagonist don't like the man, number one, because she thinks he's sexist, homophobic, and a lot of other things. And also she has told him she don't like him, so they know there is beef there. But her best friend asked her to be the maid of honor, a bridesmaid in her wedding. And so she's like, I don't think I want to do it. I don't think I want to do it. But she ends up doing it. Now, we do get at the very beginning, this isn't a spoiler. Basically, this is the story of our protagonist trying to explain why her and her best friend ends up wanting to kill one another. So far, how am I feeling? I'm not that compelled. I'm not that in it. I'm not that, you know, I'm about to go read a few pages before bed and I'm not excited to go read it. Like, nothing's really going on. The voice of our main character is like boring at best, annoying at worst. Like, I don't know. I'm not fully in it. I don't know. It's just not, I'm having a bad reading month, I think it is. Like, I don't know. Like, everything I'm reading, I'm just not fully invested in. Like, I'm waiting for that moment. Like, last month, I got so many moments of just like, yes, this is good. Yes, this is good. And I'm just not getting them from these books that I'm reading. And I don't know why. Like, I'm just half invested in everything. Like, nothing terrible. I'm just half invested. I just can't fully go there. Anyway, this clip has been long. I wanted to show you guys some books I purchased, but I'm not. And I think I might go to the bookstore tomorrow if I can like finish some filming I have to do. So that is the end of this part. I'll keep reading So Happy for you. And if something happens, I'll come back. Okay. Okay, you guys, so I am about to head to the Barnes & Noble sale. This Barnes & Noble is having a sale. I want to see if they have any books that I want to like read or want to add to my book collection. You know how that go. But I have been working my way through slowly So Happy for You. So basically, like I said, we're following this girl whose best friend is getting married. And through that, we are learning things about their friendship. We have this main character and she's kind of a bitch, but she doesn't see that she's a bitch. But why in a strange way can I relate to her? Like, this book has me thinking about myself. She's one of those people who, like, instead of having a personality, their opinions, what they believe in, and like who they associate with is their personality. Like, they don't really care about real human connections necessarily. They care about the perception of those human connections and how those human connections connect with her. I don't know, there's just something she says in here where I'm like, whoa, I kind of think that way too. And like, I can notice that it's wrong for her to think that, but I don't see that same thing with myself. Like, she was giving a lecture because she's a PhD student, and she was giving a lecture, and she like had an opinion about something that was a progressive opinion, especially in like this dystopian world where everyone's forced to get married. And like, someone like bit back at her opinion, and she took it like to heart, because she was like, if people don't agree with me, it feels like they're like making a judgment against me, instead of like seeing opinions as opinions. Like, it's just an opinion, it's not that big of a deal. She sees her opinions as a part of her. They're a part of her existence. So when someone disagrees with her on anything, instead of it just being like, oh, I disagree with your opinion, but like, we can still break bread, it's more so like, you don't like me. Instead of disliking an opinion or a thought, it's like, you don't dislike all of me. And like, same. Like, same. I feel the same way. Like, if you don't agree with the things I agree with, I feel like you don't agree with me. But like, it doesn't always necessarily have to be that way, especially over like stupid things. And like, that's kind of going in with her relationship with her best friend. Like, do y'all really like, the thing, like, she doesn't like her best friends for such fickle reason. They just have a different outlook on that. It's nothing terrible. Like, her friend is not homophobic or racist or something. Like, they just disagree on like marriage, but like, she makes it seem like it's the freaking worst. But anyways, I'm enjoying it. There's not really much going on. I'm still not like in it. That's why it's been taking me so long, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't know why they want to kill each other yet, or how that turns into this whole thing about like killing and stuff like that, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm enjoying it. Anyways, gonna go to the Barnes & Noble sale. I'll tell you guys what I get when I come back, and yeah, bye. Hello, you guys. What an angle. What an angle for me to come in at. So I told you guys in the last clip I was headed to Barnes & Noble. So like, I'm also half a liar. I did end up going to Barnes & Noble, but I actually had already placed the Barnes & Noble order during the 50% off sale. I bought 3 books that probably won't be here. I don't know how Barnes & Noble shipping work, but I'm sure it won't be here by the time I end this video. So they won't come. But then I was talking to you guys about So Happy For You. So Happy For You, I have really no thoughts about So Happy For You. I read it before bed every single night, and like, it's about 2 girls, they best friends, and you want to know what this book, I will say this book, like I said in the last clip, has made me think about myself and how I handle life, and how I handle like people who like different things than me, how I treat them, when it's like not the worst thing in the world for us to have different opinions on things in life. So it has made me think about that. But other than that, there's nothing really going on besides that. So just keep in mind, these 2 girls are eventually gonna want to kill each other, and we are just going through a cycle of their friendship. That's what it is. Like, it's fine. I'm not loving it, I'm not hating it. But I did go to Barnes & Noble and pick up 2 books. They just really didn't have anything that I deeply wanted. So I just picked up 2 things. One thing I knew about, one thing I didn't know about. So the thing I knew about was Nina LaCour, Yerba Buena. This was a book of the month pick. I think I was actually going to choose it as my book of the month pick, but they were all out when I went to go do that. By the way, I am filming an entire book of the month video at the end of the year. It's a whole thing that I've been doing. But anyways, so I did want to pick this up, and I thought, what better time than when it's 50% off. So yeah, I purchased this. I thought I already had purchased this, but this is another book that reminds me of this book that I purchased. But I purchased this book 50% off. If it wasn't 50% off, it probably would have been one of those books I kind of just let settle on by. I don't read, but since it is and it was there, I picked it up. And the next thing, I say I hate office thrillers, and yet for some reason the synopsis of office thrillers get me every single time. That's the problem with office thrillers. Like, I'll read them and they suck. Like, I find them boring, I find them flat, I don't find them complex, I just find them stupid. But then I read the synopsis of an office thriller and I get hooked. I read the synopsis for this book and it seemed so freaking good. It's about these two girls who work in the office. They're working late one night. They get into an elevator, and when the elevator gets to the bottom floor, one of them is dead and they're trying to figure out, did the woman commit suicide or did the other woman murder her? That sounds so good. You're gonna follow these girls in the elevator and see, like, did one of them murder the other? Like, that sounds so interesting. But like, office thrillers are never good. Workplace thrillers are never good to me. Never, never, never. So like, if this don't work, if I have been duped again to read an office thriller, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. Me and workplace thrillers. I don't like workplace romances. I don't like workplace thrillers. Like, if this, it's just not for me then. It's just not for me. I need to leave the workplace alone. I don't like books like that. So yeah, I just need to leave that alone. So yeah, that's what I purchased. No more thoughts. The book we're gonna read after this is Hide. I think I'm gonna read Hide after this. It's short, it's easy. So like, I need to try to finish So Happy For You today, cause I've been reading it for too long. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next clip. Peace. Okay, so I have just finished So Happy For You. I haven't gone on Goodreads and read any reviews on this book. I've seen a couple YouTubers read it back during Summerween, and so I'm a little confused and muddy on my thoughts because like, I don't know. Okay, so like, this book is 100% like out of this world and like crazy, and it intends to be that way. So I think your opinions on this book depend solely on how well you feel the author executed their point, and did they get that point across well, and did you like the story that was told? Did you enjoy it? I have to give credit. If you can see, y'all can't really see, I bookmarked so many pages on here. Like, there were some gems dropped in this book. This book in itself is an allegory on friendship, an allegory on like how we allow society to indoctrinate us, how we all live in our own little bubble and allow the opinions and the things that go on in those bubbles to shape us, and like how many people really live the life that they want to lead, and what you're willing to do in order to fit in to your bubble, how you're willing to treat people, how you're willing to act. Because what I love the most about this story, you have two characters, or two main characters. You have Robin and Ellie. Robin is a gay white woman who's like very like liberal, who is very like, you know, all the liberal talking points. And then you have Ellie, who is very traditional, doesn't really sway in politics either way. She just wants a traditional life. And what I love about this book is that it shows how both of these girls like live in the divide of both. Ellie is willing to kill her best friend in order to get married and have a good marry and have everyone thinks like she's been picked. But then you have Robin. Robin is willing to treat everyone around her like shit in order for people to know she's the wokest person in the room, in order for people to know like she stands for something, she has her opinions, she's willing to treat everyone she knows like shit and belittle everyone, and she's not even 10 toes down on her own beliefs. So they're both doing a lot to compensate for the ways they don't fully embody what they want to embody. At the end of the day, Robin is white. Robin is a white woman who lives in Brooklyn. I don't know if that's like that was commentary that was meant to be made, but it's really interesting how Robin is a white woman who lives in Brooklyn, but she talks all this woke shit like you are a direct product of gentrification. Like, you would have never lived in Brooklyn in the 80s and the 90s. Like, you are a direct product of the thing that you hate. Like, there's little subtle nuances to this book that I find to be very, very clever, that shows how both women, you can't judge either women either way. Like, whoa, Ellie is just terrible. Or then you can't judge Robin and be like, Robin's so terrible. Like, they're both they're both muddy and they're both sticky, and it's this ideal on friendship and like the things what you're willing to do for friends and what is a friendship. And I don't know, I just found this book to be clever in a lot of ways. But then the downside of this book is like what I would hear people saying, and I'm sure when I go into the Goodreads comments, the pacing is a little bit weird. The pacing is a little bit weird. The middle gets a little bit muddy a little bit. You kind of lose your way. You don't know, you get to the point where you don't know what you're reading the book for. But I think with those thoughts in mind, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I really think you should read it. It's a 300-page book. Like I said, there's so many quotes. What's the last quote that I love? I dog-eared something. Something I dog-eared. Oh, there was a quote that's like, what would I be if I was not angry? Talking about Robin. Like, it's so weird how like Robin made me look at myself a lot. Like, she was like, what would I be without my opinions? What would I be if I wasn't angry? It's just so funny because like you can judge people on that traditional side because they're crazy, but like look at the ways in which you're crazy about the things you believe in and how it's all just like, when are you going to be you and believe in the things you want to believe in, you know? Anyway, this idea of groupthink, it's really good. Like, I'm giving it 4 stars. I'm leaning for 3.5, 3.54. I'll give it 4 on Goodreads, 3.54. Anyways, at the end of the video, I tell you guys if I actually regret buying these books, but like, let me let it go. So we're going to read Hide next. Hide is the next book that we are going to read. And yeah, I'll see you. Hello, you guys. We are getting started on a new book. I was sitting here reading. I'm actually cooking dinner. I wanted Chipotle. I'm never in the mood for Chipotle, like never in the mood for Chipotle, but I woke up from a really long nap that I wasn't planning on taking, and I was craving a steak bowl from Chipotle. And so like, but then it was like close to Chipotle closing, so like I was just like, let me go out here and make me some dinner, because like what else am I gonna do? Everything is closed. So like I'm here making buttered noodles and garlic shrimp, which is like my go-to meal. Sometimes you gotta make $1 out of 15 cents, and that's what I'm doing. But I was sitting here and I was reading Hide while my water bowls from my noodles, and like I'm trying not to be nasty about Hide because everyone's been nasty about Hide. Like, I keep telling myself, how bad can it be? It's kind of like Riley Sager's Survive the Night. I haven't read that book yet, but like I feel like I might like it because I'm like, how bad can like the book really be? You know, like it got published. Like, you know, like what? This woman has written like 9 books, maybe 10 books. She's written so many freaking books, so it's like, how bad can this book be? But this book is sitting at like a 3.3 on Goodreads, so like the answer is really fucking bad. So this book is about a girl named Mac. Mac needs some money. She lives in a shelter, so she decides to enter this contest, which basically is at an abandoned amusement park, where if you like hide in this abandoned amusement park for how many days? For a week and don't get found, like there's people looking for you and you don't get found, you win $50,000. So like there's people from all walks of life coming together. I think there's like 14 of them coming together to like spend time in this amusement park. I already have my gripes. Number one, like this book starts off in this like weird like backstory thing. Like it just starts off really weird to me. Like it just, like we get like back information on the contest that I just don't believe is necessary for a book that's like short. Why are we getting information on the ins and out of this contest? It just don't seem like we're learning about the quarters that they're living in before they get into the park and like the food that they're getting. Like I get it, it's like world building, but it's just giving knockoff Hunger Games. It's giving knockoff Hunger Games. Another thing which this book is giving knockoff Hunger Games, we're getting to know the characters in this book, but these are the most generic 14 characters you ever met because the book is so short and it doesn't have real time to set up like real characters. So it's just giving you, this person is an athlete, this person is a social media personality, it's just giving you broad statements about each person. But it's also like, I don't care, like I don't like, it's something like the Hunger Games. The characters were easy to like to understand, and you understood the character because there was a world building outside of that. Like, we understood the districts, therefore all you had to do was tell us someone was from District 4 and we knew everything about them because there was world building. So there wasn't a need to like get fully invested in the characters. Like, you could draw the characters with a wide brush stroke because we already knew about the characters based off of what district they were in. But in this book, the characters are written with such a wide brush stroke that you just don't care. They're just generic kid. This could be anyone. So the only character we have real information about is Mac. Mac has mysteries. Mac has a lot of stuff going on about her past, but like it's obvious what Mac's history is, right? Like, we all get what Mac's from what we know earlier in the story. So it's like, that's stupid. Like, and then everyone's right. I'm gonna give everyone a 10s. Everyone is right. This book is a young adult book masquerading as an adult book. This book is a young adult book. Like, the way these characters are written, like, they're just written like kids. They're written as kids. These people are supposed to be in their like mid-20s, some of them late 20s, like, and they don't feel that way. They literally feel like kids. They literally, like, the questions they ask, the things that they're into, the things that it's kiddish, it's childish, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I didn't want that critique to be right, but it's childish. Like, I don't know, this just feels like a YA book. It feels like a YA book. It does. And like, it's stupid. I'm gonna be honest, but I'm still in it. Like, it's day one of like the amusement park. And that's the thing, like, you could have started the book on day one. Like, why did we need 55 pages of just like backstory? Like, the backstory is not that interesting. Like, them driving to, like, there better be something that makes all that 55 pages worth it, because like, I feel like we could have just started a chapter, because it's not even like the information we got was so detailed and amazing and world building. You get what I'm saying? You gave us 55 pages. It's like bullshit. Like, it wasn't even necessary. Anyways, you remember that Barnes & Noble order I told y'all I put in? It came in today. So like, believe it or not, I guess Barnes & Noble stuff does come in rather quickly, because this only took like this didn't even take a week. I feel like I bought this stuff on Monday, and so it took 4 days. So let me show you what I got. I purchased 3 books. I decided to purchase books, either one. During this sale, I decided to purchase books either I'd never heard of, books that I was already going to buy, and that was pretty much it. So like, I decided I only bought 3 books, like 3 books. Proud of myself. So the first book I already knew existed, but I was going to buy anyways, is Cover Story. This was in my Amazon cart, and so like, I would rather give money to like a place. Like, I would rather not give my money to Amazon like for the book, so I bought Cover Story from this. I just felt like this was a good buy to get here. It was on sale. Like, I don't know, I'm happy. The reason why I was waiting to buy it was because I didn't want to pay full price for it, and so like, I didn't. I got it for $13 and the book is $28, so like, didn't pay full price for it. Feel good about it. Don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but like, I feel good about that purchase. The next thing I bought was a young adult book, and that is No Filters and Other Lies. I saw this on the website and I just read the synopsis of it, and like, it sounded so interesting. It sounded like such, you guys know I am in my young adult era like that. This year is gonna be summed up. I feel like last year summed up my romance era. I was in my romance era heavy last year. This year is 100% my young adult era. Like, I'll look back on this next year, this time I'll be like, whoa, I was reading a lot of young adult. This is right up my alley. It's about somebody lying about like who they are on the internet, and you know, catfishing somebody. I don't know, but it was, first of all, the cover is gorgeous, and so like, I had to pick it up because I never heard of it. And they have another book called Fat Chance Charlie Vega, which, if this is good, I'll pick up Fat Chance Charlie Vega. But anyways, and then the last one is Small Pleasures. I don't know if I heard about this book. This book was shortlisted for the Booker Prize, wasn't it? I think this book was shortlisted. No, it was long listed for the Women's Prize. And usually, out of all the like popular like book prize, so like the Stonewall, the Women's Prize, the Booker Prize, out of all the prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, out of all the like literature prizes you can win, the women's fiction prize is usually the one where I get the most hits. Like, I usually find the Booker Prize is a little boring. The Stonewall ones hit or miss, but like the woman's prize usually does me right. Anyway, this clip is too long. This clip is too long, and my noodle's still not my water's still not boiling, but it's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna get my shrimp right, and yeah, I'll see you guys honestly when I finish High. This book is really short, and also this book does this weird thing, like it was doing this weird thing where it's like talking about someone, and like instead of saying their name, because all these people are like useless, it's like social media star this, YouTuber this, and it's like, can you just say they goddamn names? Like what is this? Anyways, this book isn't written well either. It's not written in my taste. I won't say not well. It's not written in my taste. Anyways, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna try to be more positive about this book because I'm not hating it. Like, I'm not thinking to myself, let me put this down. I just don't think I should have bought this book, because that's the point of this video. I pay too much for these books, and it's just not up my alley. Like, this just shouldn't be a book I should be reading, but I am, because like it's marketed as, if this was young adult and marketed as young adult, I would have never picked it up. Anyways, peace. So I deeply want to say something nice about this book, and like I am gonna say something nice. This book is not as bad as like some people really make this book out to be. Like, this is gonna be on a lot of people's worst books of the year, and I'm halfway done with it. And like, is it giving worse? It might give worst book of the year just because I haven't read a lot of terrible books, but it's not terrible in the sense like unreadable terrible. Like, I thought this was just gonna be a joke of a book, and it's not that. What the issue of this book is it's all senseless. Like, it's just all senseless. Like, the characters aren't good. You're following 14 characters. The characters are getting out of the game, and it's just like, I don't know who these people are. Like, we keep switching POVs, which is so confusing. This book switches POVs from person to person, and it's so confusing. I believe most of this book is told in third person, and I believe it shouldn't be. I believe it should be told in first person, and we should just be going into the mind of every single character, and maybe that would make it less confusing. But every time this book jumps from POV to POV, it's so bizarre, especially because the book is not broken up into POVs. It's broken up into days. Like, so like, it's just really confusing, like who's talking and what their backstory is sometimes. And then also, like, the characters are just so like useless. Like, they like I said, instead of them being like real characters, it's just like, this person is this person is that. So you already know, you already have in your head like what a social media influencer is. So you're supposed to already have that idea, and then just reflect that onto these characters. They just tell you what this person does or what their job is, and you're supposed to be like, okay, I know about this character. So this character is a writer, so I'm gonna take everything I assume a writer is and say that's what this character is. But it's like, I need more information. Also, we've kind of gotten a little tone switch in this book, and it's bizarre. Like, the tone is just off in this. I know this book wants certain things to be creepy, but it's like, it's not, because like at the end of the day, we go back to our quarters and it's not creepy. The tone is inconsistent. So I just wanted to come on here and say, this isn't the worst book in the world that I have read. Not even the worst book I've read this year, but it's just, if it wasn't for this video and I didn't pay $28 for it, I would DNF it. Like, it's just, and also, it's such a young adult book. This book is a young adult book disguised as an adult book. These people are kids. Like, they act like kids. Their dialogue is kids, but we're told that these people are adults. It's not giving that. Anyways, peace. Yes, we are in my laundry room, but I want to come over here and give my thoughts on Hyde. This is a 2 out of 5 star book. I've never read a book that is so 2 out of 5 stars. Like, it is just 2 out of 5 stars. Shouldn't have read it, shouldn't have bought it, adds nothing to my life. I wasted my time, but like, I'm not offended by it. A lot of reviews on this book are like offensive reviews, like people saying like, oh my gosh, it's the worst book in the world. And it's simply just not the worst book in the world, but it's literally nothingness. You want to know how I want to describe this book? Have you ever been on a roller coaster? And like, the roller coaster is going and you're waiting for the big drop. You're like looking like, ooh, when does this get exciting? And it never does. You're just like, oh, it's over. Oh, this is the roller coaster. This was the ride. This is when I was supposed to be having fun. Back there was when I was supposed to be enjoying myself. That's this book. That is literally this book. You're just like in it, and before you know it, you're in the middle of the book, and this is supposed to be the fun part, but you haven't had fun yet. You're looking like, did I miss something? Did I miss when the fun started? That's this book. You're just like, I'm reading things and I think this is supposed to be the plot, but like it's not enjoyable. So like, when does this become fun? And it never does. And it literally never does. The characters in this suck. The setting in this suck. The dialogue in this suck. The kills are the worst part. Those suck. Everything is just sucky. It's just one big suckiness. And it's just like, what am I reading this book for? If this was marketed as the young adult book, it actually is. I would have never picked it up. These characters are so dull and so stupid. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There was nothing fun about that experience. There was nothing fun about that experience. I don't have anything positive to say, so we're just gonna move on. We're gonna just move on. We're just gonna get that taste out of our mouth. I'll never get those $28 back. I don't have a little storefront where you can buy books from me. I don't resell my books. I give them away. So it's just like, I'll never get that money back. How to be eaten. We're just gonna start on how to be eaten. I have no other thoughts. Okay, but hello you guys. So the last book we read was Hide, and that was a dud. Then we read So Happy For You before that. That was 4 stars, so like that's solid. I'm looking for a 5-star book, and maybe How to Be Eaten is going to be that. I have flown through How to Be Eaten. I didn't realize till I started reading this book how quick this book like goes by, and how like short it is. This book isn't even 300 pages. So like, I actually am afraid I might finish it because like I'm going out of town, and when I go out of town, I have nothing to do but read. So like, I was worried. But like, so I was like, I need to come over here and talk to you guys about this book. So I didn't fully read the synopsis of this book when I picked this book up and paid my $28 for it. My $28 for it. I just saw billionaire and girl support group and like was hooked, but like I didn't know what this book was about. So like, it is about those things. So I am going to describe this book to you. I'm going to pitch this book as a better final girl support group. Even if this book ends up being trash in the end, I am pitching this as a better final girl support group, because like, it's about a bunch of women who have survived terrible things, and they're in a support group talking about all of their issues. It's what final girl support group like thought it was gonna, what I thought final girl support group was gonna be about, and then what we got. So anyways, this book is following what, 4 women. We have Beatrice, we have Ashley, we have Robin, and we have Gretel. Who these girls? We have Raina. How many of these girls is there? Is there just 5 of them? So I got them right. You have Raina, you have Ashley, you have Gretel, you have Beatrice, and you have Robin. All of them are from fairy tales, and that's what I first learned from this book. I don't think my family read me fairy tales. I didn't know, except Little Red Riding Hood, I didn't know where none of these girls was from. I did not know where none of these girls came from. Like, is that just me? I did not know a single fairy tale any of these girls was from, except for that, and then Gretel, because obviously Hansel and Gretel. But like, when they was telling me the story, Bluebeard, what the hell is that? Didn't know Blue, like I did not know. But all of these girls are from fairy tales that y'all know and love. And basically this book reimagines them in a contemporary setting and puts them all in a support group where they talk about the terrible things that have happened to them. So one by one, we're just going through their stories, figuring out what happened to them. But like, it's like the stories like retold in a contemporary setting to make them like make sense in like the real world. Anyways, you're seeing the issues that these women are having with the things that they went through, how those things have affected them, and you know, all of that. And I'm enjoying the hell out of this book. It's not high on action, high on thrills, high on surprises, but just learning about these women. These women are so interesting. I get a good quote. You guys, one thing about me, if you were to look on my bookshelf, I am the queen of dog earring a page, or if I have a pen or a pencil near me, underlining a good quote. I love a good quote. It's giving me good quotes. Like, it's just, I love the writing. It's easy to get through. I love hearing about the women's story. Now, I will say I am currently on Ashley's story, and I will say we have lost a little bit of our steam. Like, we started off with a punch to the gut Beatrice, but as we continue to move on, I'm like not as compelled. Like, if someone's like, can you rate this book right now, I would give it 3.5 or 4 stars. Like, it's gonna have to do something in the last half to really blow me away to earn the 4-star I think I'm gonna give this book, but I think it's gonna do it. Like, I think I'm gonna get the point. But it's just about these women like reclaiming their stories and moving on from their past, and it uses fairy tale characters to do that. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this book. Maybe that's just my world. So like, it's interesting, like, to see a book, pick up a book, and, you know, enjoy it. Like, I'm liking it. Like, for instance, so Happy For You, I heard about from Summerween when I picked it up. Hyde, everyone is talking about Hyde, but I don't think I've seen, maybe I saw one person talk about How to Be Eaten. So this really was a purchase I made like just on my own. And I think I already owned it when the person I saw talk about it. So like, it's good. Like, I'm not regretting buying it. Anyway, I am gonna finish it. That's the synopsis. If you want to hear about a bunch of fairy tale characters all meeting up in a support group. Also, the person who put the support group together is also weird. Like, there's just a lot of weird things at play right now. Anyways, I'm enjoying it. I am. I will see you guys in the next clip. Peace. Hello, you guys. So I have finished the book. Whew, where is it? Let me find it. How to Be Eaten. I have finished How to Be Eaten. And everything in my soul and spirit wants to give this book 5 stars. So like, I'm gonna break it down. An enjoyment level, 5. I enjoyed this book through and through. It was so easy to read. It was so easy to get through. I was never not interested. I found all the stories of all the fairy tale girls so compelling. And I think it's because I didn't know the fairy tales, like I told you before. So I found them so compelling. I didn't know how they were going to end. I love the voices of all the girls. So like, 5 out of 5 there. And then when you get into the writing, I thought the writing was brilliant. This had so many quotes. Like, I underlined and highlighted so many quotes. I don't even know what quote I'm going to use for my Goodreads review, because on my Goodreads review, when there's a quote I like in the book, or I feel like a quote sums up the book, I use it. I don't know which one. There's so many good quotes. So like, 5 out of 5 stars there on being written. But then when I think about the story as a whole, and I'm like, did this book accomplish everything I feel like this book could have accomplished? And that's where we get kind of funny. The big like reveal is not that interesting. You have the character Raina. I found her story not that interesting for it to be the last story that you get. So I'm just like, there's things that could have been done better. The reveal could have been better. The like, what this is all about could have been better. I do feel like it accomplished its point, and I think I took away from this book what you're supposed to take away from this book, and I think it did that well. I'm just sitting here like, but could it have been better? And I do think some of the story elements could have been done better, and so that's why I'm going to give this book 4 out of 5 stars. But stay with me. I'm moving So Happy For You to 3 stars, because now that I think I've read a 4-star book, I really want to give this 5 stars. I genuinely want to give this book 5 stars. But the ending, it's the ending of it all. I'm gonna move So Happy For You to 3 stars. Hyde is gonna stay at 2 stars, and I'm giving this 4. I enjoyed this book a lot more than I enjoyed So Happy For You. So I think I'm good with that. This was 4 stars. I do not regret buying this book. This is a book that I would reread. I don't regret reading this book. I think this book was worth the $28 that I paid for it. It's a fairy tale retelling, which I usually avoid. I didn't know that's what it was. I went into it not knowing much, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it through and through. So we are going to move on to The Lifeguard. The Lifeguard is actually the reason why I literally started this entire video, because I have seen this book discounted so many times. I go to the bookstore, it's discounted. I go online and it's discounted. I see people selling it on their own storefronts discounted. Like, I could easily get this book for $10 right now, but instead I paid $28 for this goddamn book. It better be good. It better be at least 4 stars. Like, I can't. You wanna know what's crazy? I've seen it every goddamn where, and this book is getting such a promotional push, I feel like, but I don't know a damn thing about it. So I'm going to get into this, and yeah, I'll see you guys. Hello, you guys. We are here to talk about the Lifeguards. You might be asking why I am sitting in my car, and it is because I am literally in standstill traffic. I'm driving home from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm in standstill traffic. You know how that go. And so I was like, ooh, I'm doing literally nothing. This would be the perfect time to update you guys on the Lifeguards by Amanda Ear Ward. Okay, so let me tell you what this book is about. This book follows 3 moms, 3 boys, and a detective. And I literally, like, and there's this, like, this is what made me stop reading the book last night. There's also, like, another like statesman. Like, there's hella POVs in this book. But anyways, let's stay with like the linear narrative. So you have these 3 moms who have 3 sons, and the 3 sons find a dead body in like the water, around the water where they work. The 3 sons are lifeguards, and so like in this little like marsh area, I would describe it, they find a dead body, and they come back and tell their moms like, hey, we found this dead body. And the moms quickly decide that they're going to do everything in their power to make sure this dead body doesn't link back up to their boys. They don't think the boys did anything. They don't know if the boys did anything, but they're just not going to even let it be a possibility that anyone thinks it could be that. They live in this very affluent Austin neighborhood, and so yeah, there's like, you know, it's just one of those affluent Austin neighborhoods, and like all the wives have, well, 2 of them are wives, one of them is a single mom. She has secrets. Everyone has secrets. Everyone has motives. Even the boys have secrets. The boys have motives. We also have a detective who is trying to solve what happened with the dead body, and so yeah, that's what's pretty much going on. It's a mystery. How do I describe this book? There's too many elements going on. There's too many elements, and none of them very intriguing. I don't know. It's just kind of boring. Like, it's something I could, like, it's just not anything I needed to read in my life, you know. That's how I'm feeling right now. Like, this is just something I could have 100% passed on. I didn't have to read it. About the mystery, I don't really care all too much who did it. Like, it's just, I don't know, I'm just not that in it. Anyways, I'm just gonna sit in this traffic some more and be on my phone. I'll talk to you guys in another day when I read some more. But yeah, peace. I am about to say something I rarely ever say. The Goodreads rating for this book is sitting very low. Like, it's sitting at like a 3.4, 3.2, 3.4, 3.3, bad. If we can agree that anything below a 3.5 is a bad rating on Goodreads, this is sitting at a low rating. I believe the reviews for this book on Goodreads is actually too good. Usually I think the Goodreads ratings on most books that I read are nasty. Like, people are blowing it overboard. Like, it just wasn't that bad, you know. These are too good. The reviews for this book, which are bad reviews, are genuinely too good for what this book is. I am giving The Lifeguards by Amanda Ear Ward 1 star. I don't understand this book. I don't see how this book got published, and then a pretty big marketing push to me. I don't see how this happened. This is senseless, and it's not like offensively bad. Like, I'm like, whoa. It's just like, I don't get it.
I don't get what there is to like about this book. What's so crazy is this has the pieces to be a very good mystery, a very good domestic mystery. You have these group of moms who have been friends for 15 years, all of them coming from different backgrounds. You have one who is poor and who ran away from her own life. You have one who is Hispanic and is trying to become an American citizen, and she's had to deal with racial profiling. She's had to deal with racism and all of that stuff, and being an undocumented citizen for a long time. So that's good. And then you have another one who is affluent, very rich. She has a husband she doesn't like, and she has things herself that she's dealing with. And then you have these three boys. They are all lifeguards, and they are all dealing with their own issues. And one day they find a dead body at the pool that they lifeguard at. And these women come together to try to protect their sons and make sure their sons don't go to jail for this murder, as well as us trying to solve what happened to this girl who washes up dead at the pool that these boys work at. Everyone has secrets, everyone has lies, even the boys. It sounds so good, but this book don't make no damn sense. This, like, every POV, like, everything you come to learn is just like, what? And then there's a daughter in the story, and it's just like, what? The motives for killing, the motives for, like, what, when this all comes together, the motives are weak. Like, you're just like, you did all of this for this. Like, it just doesn't make no sense. The lies and the secrets that the women have are just like, sure, you seem to be doing paying too much for what you got. That's what this book is. Paying too much for what you got. Like, willing to risk too much for what you're going to get in the end. Like, what? Like, it's senseless. Like, and it's not interesting. It's not compelling. The setting isn't good. And that's another thing. It takes place in this, like, affluent Austin area. I love books like this. On paper, I should love this book. But the setting is weird. I think the best part of this book, we keep getting, at the beginning of chapters, they show us, like, the neighborhood Facebook page. And I think it's really funny. I thought the neighborhood Facebook page was good. That's the best part of the book. But the overall story, and then the detective, the reason why the detective was in the book was so, like, sure, like, you put that in the book just to have that to come in at the end. It just, no. I'm confused as to what there is to like about this book. This book, like I said, it's already sitting at a low Goodreads rating, so it's not like people are saying this book is good. I just think it should genuinely be lower. I think this book is way worse than Hyde. I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed reading this book more than I enjoyed reading Hyde, because, like, to me, Hyde is a young adult book about some kids who go into an amusement park and start to die. Like, and I would never have picked up a book like that, like, in my life. I just not interested in a book like that. So it's like, whatever. But this, so I enjoy reading this more because this is just more of my genre. It's not a young adult book pretending to be an adult book. It's just right up. This is what I sign up for. So, like, yes, I enjoyed reading it more, but this book is worse than Hyde. Like, Hyde is bad. Let's be clear. Hyde is bad. I had to really reach deep in my soul to give it a 2-star. But, like, this is bad. Like, I should not have read this. And want to know what's crazy? At no point did I want to DNF it. That's the weird part, because, like, it's so up my alley. Like, I was waiting for it to get good because I didn't want to DNF it. I'm like, I should like this book. And I had fun until, like, it's just bad. It's just bad. I didn't have fun. It was just like, the more things were getting revealed, you're like, that's it? I'm here for this? 1 out of 5 stars. So that's the end of the video. I'm going to wrap this video up upstairs in my office, and yeah, we'll go.
Hello, you guys. I'm here to wrap up the video, like I said. So this was an entire vlog on, do I regret spending full price on these very expensive books? All these books was either $26 or $28. I gotta say, this vlog was a roughie. I just did the book club live stream for our book club pick, which is Fake It Till You Bake It, which, by the way, For the month of September, we have Yinka Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Damilola Blackburn. This will be the September pick. Hopefully we have better luck than Fake It Till You Bake It, because that was a doozy. Okay, but anyways, for this vlog, it was rough. It was a rough. This has been a rough reading month for me. I cannot tell a lie. So do I regret buying So Happy For You? I decided to move this book to a 3-star. I do regret buying it. I could have waited or not read this book at all. I enjoyed myself. I had fun, but it was not worth the full price I paid for it. I could have waited to get it on discount, read it on Kindle, got an audio book or something. I did not need to physically read this and pay the money for it. The next book was Hide. This was 100% not worth the money. It took everything in me to give this book 2 stars. It was not good. This book was a whole mess. It was not worth the money. I bought into the hype. I shouldn't have. The cover is gorgeous, but like, if I do keep it, it's 100% for the cover, but like, this book offers nothing to me. Gave it 2 stars, not good. The next book is the best book I read in this, and that is How to Be Eaten. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. This is one of the most surprising books I read this year. Wasn't expecting to enjoy it the way I did. Don't regret buying this book. This was a good impulse purchase. I'm fine paying the $28 for it. And lastly, we have The Lifeguards. This book is a 1 out of 5 stars. It's the worst book I read in this. I really regret buying this book because I paid full price for it. I've seen it on discount at least 5 times. I could have waited. Most importantly, I should have never read it at all. It's just not good. It was not a good book. So anyways, that is the end of this video. I wish it was more positive, but what can you do? I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.